Hello, everybody. It's Jess in JessTalks. This is Truthful Thursday. And so I have a few things I wanted to touch on. I get asked a lot of different questions about a lot of different things. So, first off, Jess Talks is a platform where we just want to encourage everybody. We want to do well. We want to enhance everything that we've been doing. I'm also the owner and CEO of And Purpose Results by Jess, and so that is a beauty consultant business. And so that's just some of the things I do. I work, I take care of my kids, I run my business, I make products, and I just try to enjoy life and stay out the way. So, that being said, I wanted to kind of touch a little bit about being an adult. So being grown is like one of the things I never really cared to be. Like I never was like, oh man, I can't wait to be grown. I touched a little bit about it last week when I was talking about, these kids. We love the kids, but they just a lot. And so being a parent is one of the things that kind of like forced me into growing up. I never felt like I was just like this grown up and I just had it all together and it's like, man, come on, like let's attack life. So I don't know if I'm by myself, but sometimes I feel like I'm just like I'm a grown kid. Like I'm grown, but it's like I still think like all the stuff I used to think when I was a kid. Cause I'm like, I look at people when they doing stupid stuff and I'm like, why would they do that? And this is adults and kids. I'm like, why are they doing it? Why would they do that? And why did they make a bad decision? And so that being said, I've worked in like different professions. Like I've been a police officer, I've been a teacher. Um, when I was a police officer, I was at the campus, I was on patrol, I was over the training department. Like it's just so many things and so many like people I've met, like things I've learned, and I've been enjoying life. And it's like sometimes it's like what am I doing though? Like is am I really living in my purpose? Am I really like doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And then it make you evaluate like all the people you've been around. Like I have some friends that like I've been their friends since like elementary school, middle school. Did I have people I've been in high school? Did I have people like I've been in college? And so it's like, man, like what am I really doing? Like what is the whole point of being grown? Like, and how do you know you like a grown up? Because it's like so I have friends that like before I actually finished college, like I started like working first. Because I went to college, then I stopped. Then I had my daughter, and it was cool. Then I got married and all this stuff. And then it was like I got to a point where like I feel like I kind of lost myself in the limbo of life. Um, so I got married kind of young. I guess I was like 22, 23-ish, whatever. And in that same window, I also became a police officer. So it's like I had a lot of things moving and going on like at one time. And so then like my ex-husband, he was like in the military. Then like we had this little girl. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like we grown. But it's like, are we like grown, like having fun, like living to our full potential or whatever? Or is it just like, okay, we adults, like we old enough to take care of business. We can go drink and be out past whatever time or whatever. And so I don't know. Like to me, it just feel like being an adult is it's a lot. It's a lot, and I feel like when we like try to overanalyze everything, that's what make it harder. So a lot of times I tell people like, you know, I never really have a bad day because some days start off like on the high end and then some days go kind of low. And it's just kind of like, even though my day probably didn't start how I wanted it to, that don't mean like it was a bad day. That just mean at the beginning it was challenging. And then it's like towards the middle end, it's like you tired, so it's kind of like you don't even care what the hell going on. You just want the day to be over with. So some things that you were like really big and trying to get done earlier in the day, like later on in the day, like it don't even matter that much. It's just like cool. Like the day happened and went, we good, everybody alive, so let's go home. And so like being grown to me is just like trying to understand that even though like I'm an adult, even though I have like responsibilities, like I have my children, I run my business, I go to work, and it's like I mentor people, which is a thing that I didn't realize I was doing, but I learned I was doing. And I just try to help who I can, where I can, family, friends, whatever, strangers, whatever. Like if I see a need that needs to be met, I just try to meet it. And so I've been told like I'm a rock star, I'm working so hard, I'm doing so many things, but I just always feel like I'm doing like what you're supposed to do. Like it makes sense. Like if you can help with a situation, to help with the situation. I didn't think that was like anything like amazing. I just feel like I'm doing my part. Um, so that's a whole nother thing. I could talk forever about that. And so one thing that people ask me, and I really don't like to talk about it, but I guess I just touch on it a little bit with y'all. So, I was married. I was married for a while. I had my daughter, and then we had our son, and that was the whole thing. And it's like I just decided, like after I got married, that you know it didn't work, so I'm just really chilling, and I just want to like build on myself, like everything I've been working on, everything I've been working towards. Like I just want to improve Jess, and so I learned how things like I didn't care for, how to like just remove myself. Like you remove yourself, and then it's like you just done with the situation. You're not always really done with the people, but you done with how it affects you, how that person affects you, how what they do affects you. Because you don't have to be around nobody that that mistreats you or make you feel any kind of way. Like the moment I feel like somebody full of it, I just kind of leave them alone. I just go on by my business. I move around, and it's just kind of like one of those things. Like people like, man, you talk to somebody, then you just done with them. I mean, I give people about 2 weeks. The first week, everybody all excited. They want to say all these things they have to offer. They feel like they can save your life and change your life, and that's on the men's side and the women's side. And then it's just like boom, then they real self come out. Like end of the first week, beginning of the second week, it's just like they was calling you a lot at first. Now they no longer calling you. Then like they was texting you a lot. It was the good mornings and all that, and then boom, like you don't hear from them again unless you reach out. And because like I have a lot to do, I'm not just sitting around like waiting for people to be calling me, texting me. I could care less. If you call me, cool. If you don't, cool. And then I feel like you wasted the time that I did give you. Because at the end of the day, I did not have to talk to you anyway. So the fact that you pulled that little code, I'm really good on it. And so, long story short, I purposely have not been dating people. It's not because I mean, I don't like people or whatever the case. I just decided that this just not the move for me right now. Um, and so sometimes it'll look like, well, I've been told that I'll probably be pushing people away, and it's a possibility. I don't know. But I just feel like I try to be as honest as possible all the time, because at the end of the day, nobody has to talk to you, and you don't have to talk to nobody. So it's like one thing to like be excited and be engaged and involved and want to get to know somebody, and it's another thing for like people to be like forcing you into it or try to get you to want to do something that you don't want to do. So at the end of the day, I just decided that I'm gonna chill, and whenever it's time for me to date, I date. And for right now, I don't have to. So it's Jess and Jess Talks, and this is Truthful Thursday. So y'all have an amazing day, a good weekend, and be blessed. Love you.